Hey there, GardenCast Nation. We're so happy to be back with yet another episode. We're going to be checking out an awesome new commercial today and really getting some insights into today's Olive Garden landscape. And with us today, we've got, from the previous podcast, we've got Mr. Eric Weber.
Hi, Nation.
And then straight out of the YouTube comments section, just got him on the podcast fresh this week. It's Isaac Allen.
Oh, hi there. I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's great. It's great to have the whole crew here. We are ready to get things started. So hey, let's check it out.
Okay, so I've done the math on this never-ending pasta bowl. There's 42 different sauce and pasta combinations.
Yeah.
And there's 7 of us.
Right.
So if we come here on 3 different nights...
Well, you do the math, I'm doing the Alfredo.
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl is back with delicious new sauces like tomato basil caprese and our Asiago garlic Alfredo. Pick any combination of sauce and pasta, then another. Try them all for just $8.95, plus endless salad and breadsticks.
This math tastes delicious.
Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family.
Wow.
That's a good quality commercial.
Yeah, right off the bat, just hits him with the zinger about the Alfredo.
And I like how no one is paying attention to what he's talking about. Like, everyone's real concerned about their own breadsticks and their eating of salad.
Absolutely.
They're more, they don't know. I think that guy is probably the reject of the group. Mm-hmm. He's kind of the black sheep, and everyone just kind of...
You feel like he's kind of an outsider for sure. Because once you get to the garden, it's all about the breadsticks, you know.
It's all about the breadsticks, all about that really good salad.
Passing that salad around, you know.
Family style, great. And everyone has wine.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's a good time if there's wine involved.
Nobody wants to be thinking about math. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the last thing you want.
Those are for losers and nerds.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're at the garden, you're not a nerd.
Of course
you're the
not.
coolest kid in the street.
Mm-hmm. And the coolest kid in the family, really.
Yeah, that's very true.
Eric, you got any thoughts on that?
Because this is such a specialized commercial, we brought a stats guy.
A stats guy?
Yeah, to crunch the numbers, if you will. So we got 42. He says
pasta combinations.
42 sauce and pasta combinations. They got 7 people. If they come there on 3 nights, our esteemed statistician, Jonathan Lee, he's working on just how they're gonna work this out. John, what have you come up with after crunching the numbers?
Well, guys, I've only been crunching the numbers for a little bit, so it's going to take a little bit while longer. My computer's currently compiling right now.
Yeah, we understand that the computer, it's a lot of work for the computer to process, to get all those numbers crunched, but it's
a large data set, I can understand.
Absolutely. So
it's going to take a while, so we just got to be patient on this one, guys.
We'll check in with him later in the show. Hopefully he'll have some data for us.
I really like the diversity of the crowd. We got a few ladies, a few guys, but I wonder who the person that doesn't have a date is. I didn't actually count the number of women versus men, but...
Do you think there was more men than women?
I want to say there was more women, actually.
Oh, really?
But I guess we can take one more look on this next go-around.
Give it a count.
Oh, it looks like there are 4 men. You were correct.
4 men and 3
women.
3 women?
3 women.
So who do you think's the odd man out?
Oh, I think it's still the math guy.
It's the math guy, no matter what.
He was just kind of tagged along and ended up at this as the 7th wheel of this group, and he's just trying to... The reason he's so hard on this math number is he's trying to get them to invite him places more, I think.
Absolutely. He thinks if there's one way to get get on the inside, it's math.
I don't know. The lady who says the math is delicious is sitting pretty close to him. She's kind of leaning into him when she makes the joke.
But do you see how interested she is in that breadstick? That breadstick pulling apart, that is just intensity you don't see in a single in a woman that's interested in math. Yeah. That is intensity you see in a woman that loves sports, that loves everything that is opposite of math.
Zest for life.
That's very true.
Yeah, you said it.
My money's on the black guy.
I mean,
because the men outnumber the women, and the woman that the black guy is sitting right next to, she's sitting closer to math guy, and he's sitting next to a dude. So unless he went out with the dude, which I don't know if Olive Garden is that progressive. I know they're progressive enough to have endless soup salad and breadsticks.
And a lot of different...
That's pretty ahead of its time. But I don't know... Maybe.
They really are about expanding the definition of family, though.
It's true.
So it is a possibility.
Maybe he's there is the African American woman also. So I think maybe that she brought her brother along could be a possibility. Like maybe this is a family get together. Maybe there's two families here and they're all just meeting together. 3 brothers.
Maybe they're just all brothers and sisters.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they are family now, so it's a possibility.
No matter who you go with to the old Olive Garden, you are brothers and sisters with those people. Mm-hmm. And I'm really glad that they have those wooden chairs that really just support a family.
Absolutely.
And that's, I think, at the end of the day, what's most important.
Yeah, I'll say.
I think if we look at the stats here, guys, like I'm having a stats update right now.
Stats update coming in from our statistician over here.
That right now, it's looking like there's a high chance of incest going on in this commercial.
All right.
Like
in this commercial,
I don't think inside the commercial there's incest.
Statistically, 1 out of every 10 people is gay, and then also 1 out of every 10 people likes one of their family members. I think the odds just match up in a way that stats say some action's going on at Olive Garden in this commercial.
Some action is going on in this.
All right. Well, we'll continue to check in for more stats updates, but meanwhile, we got to analyze this commercial even deeper.
So, at the end of the day, what do you think of the point that Olive Garden's driving home? Do you think there's a reason for the 42 instead of 43 or 41 pasta combinations? What's so important about the number 42? Do you think?
Well, it's an even number. It's got multiple factors. Suggests complexity and the amount of choices. Like there's some kind of formula involved.
That is true. Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to obliquely appeal to that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
There might be a slight reference.
Snarky nerd audience.
See, and
Very
they do
possible.
have the math joke, so maybe they are trying to appeal to a broader audience because everyone knows the garden is for sports fans and for the popular kids, but they're trying to reach that demographic they've never reached before.
They've already got the sports going strong, but yeah, they're trying to branch out and get all the family members involved from all the families.
And some nerds, they're nerds, but they don't really like math.
That's true.
Some nerds aren't math nerds. Not everybody's a math nerd.
And that's why they're able to make fun of this guy, because, hey, he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
And if you like math, you're a weirdo, that's for sure.
I mean, this isn't Math Bowl. This is Pasta Bowl.
Pasta Bowl, absolutely. The never-ending Pasta Bowl, in fact.
I really want to know what their 42 combinations are. They only mention 1 or 2.
Yeah,
throughout the movie.
If they gave us like a full listing, even if it just like scrolled by the screen real fast or something like that, so we could go back, pause it, freeze frame, write them down, plan our order, that'd be beneficial.
That would be very beneficial. But I also see the reason they want you to get in the door. They don't want to give all away their secrets.
It's true. They pull you in with that 42 and you say only one way to find out what they are. That's to go and keep going and try them all.
Do you think the 42 combinations are including different kinds of pasta in the situation? So like the linguine and the fettuccine and the bow tie pastas, are those included in the 42? And then there's only like 6 combinations of food or of the actual sauce, and then 7 combinations.
I would expect they are. It's true, like
because they show multiple different kinds of pasta noodles. Mm-hmm. So
I mean, I imagine, yeah, those are all different. So, if you're talking 42, it's probably something like 6 times 7 would be a number. I think we'd have to check with our stats guy to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that's math right there.
That sounds like math. However, I'm gonna only trust the statistician on this one.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to go to my calculator right now. It's TI 82.
82, not the 89. That's very surprising.
Those are faulty, and it's just big calc is really wanting you. It doesn't matter.
Okay, we got our statistician over there. He's still crunching some numbers on his TI-82. Not sure about the results yet, but we'll keep you posted.
7 times 6 is actually 49.
49 we're hearing. 7 times 6 is 49. Not sure if I can confirm that for you, but that's what we're hearing from our stats guy. Interesting developments for sure.
No, wait, the calculator was broken. It did 7 times 7.
Oh.
Let's try that 7 times 6 again. That is 42.
All right, we're here in 42.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Meanwhile, still a lot more to discuss regarding the commercial.
So, why do you think their little menus are such small compared to the regular size menus?
That's a good point.
They got pamphlets.
They got pamphlets now.
They got never-ending pasta pamphlets.
Seems a little strange. Like, I think in their previous cast, the guy had a full-size menu, a full grown man menu.
One of the gals was actually not looking at the Endless Pasta Bowl pamphlet. She was looking at the full-size menu. Do you think she's going to be a maverick in this situation and not order the Endless Pasta Bowl?
Possible, but that would sure be
very possible.
It is possible, but she wouldn't be getting the pasta bowl.
That's for sure.
That's for sure.
I really like how they put that cheese in the Alfredo. It really just shows they go above and beyond the call to action. They don't stop with just the Alfredo. They put the little extra step of putting that Parmesan in there.
Based on the last GardenCast, the last commercial we watched, there were kind of oblique references. Kind of if you read deeper into the subject matter, there might be some hard drugs involved. So, maybe they're putting a little bit more than cheese in this sauce. I mean, she says this math is delicious. Maybe she's not talking about math being delicious.
Maybe she's talking about meth. Maybe she just forgot the letter E. I don't think she says the letter E during the whole entire thing. Maybe she just forgot that letter existed. Let's just listen in one more time.
That's a great point. That's a great point. I'll have to check that out.
Oh,
There would be a few E's in there, but it's possible she just forgot how to spell it. It could be. I mean, she thought delicious was just like D and like an apostrophe and then licious. It's like a hyphen or something in there.
And there you go. There's no.
I think your theory is still strong. I think that's a possibility.
I mean, I don't know. This is only my second GardenCast, but again, I'm seeing some like slightly sinister undertones to an Olive Garden commercial. Maybe it's me, or maybe it's Olive Garden.
It's I'd say it's probably Olive Garden. You're just watching the commercial. That's all. You're just getting what the commercial tells you, really.
And for a short time only. It's because the supply is so little, and everyone knows drug dealers cannot keep a big supply of drugs around. So it makes sense for them to have short deals, because they need to get their supply out as quickly as possible. So I definitely am on that drug train with you. That Olive Garden is actually peddling drugs.
Seems like a strong possibility.
Seems like we're on that drug train together.
I want to ask the stats guy if he can get any stats about the owners of the Olive Garden and see if there's any connections to the drug cartels up in Canada, because I know that Canada has a really big drug cartel scene. And
Okay, I'll try to find some stats facts, but. Right now my computer had to update to Windows 10, so the other numbers I was crunching got stopped. But I did learn that $8.95 times 42 is $376.
$376 we're hearing from our stats guy, but currently...
Stats. That's way too much money. It's a never-ending pasta bowl.
So how many?
They're only going there 3 nights. That's assuming that they're.
Are they getting 2 endless pasta bowls each?
Is that even
each
possible?
Time? They're getting 2 different combinations of the pasta.
They just can't have one at a time. They
7
have
of
to
them, 3. Yeah.
3 nights.
But then each of them individually don't have the opportunity to try out all the sauces.
So they need to go there 42 times, is what I'm hearing.
Or at least try all 42 combinations.
Can you see? And the one thing that they don't tell you is if you can try more than one combination during your endless pasta bowl, or do you have to stick to the same combination every single time?
I imagine you could switch it up. I would think that it would be disappointing if you could not, and it'd be a major letdown.
And these people are so excited, so happy to just be in the garden, that I can't imagine anything just going wrong.
They wouldn't let him down like that. They'd give him all the pasta they can handle.
Exactly, you're very true. So if they're trying more than one combination every single night, and they're only going 3 nights, how many pasta combinations will they have to try? Is another question for our stats guy. To reach the 42.
I think that is our question for the stats guy. So they're only trying 1 each night, you said?
I was imagining at first that they were only trying 1 a night, but now, since this new information came out that they might be able to try more than 1 pasta,
I would guess they could probably try maybe 2 or even 3 or maybe even 4.
4? Oh wow, that is a plethora of pasta. I really enjoy that all of them are drinking alcoholic beverages, which just promotes that family is only tolerable around alcohol.
Absolutely.
And again with the drugs, that the only good time is with some sort of drugs. So I definitely am again going back to that. I really need to figure out about this drug cartel. I think that Olive Garden is owned by.
I have a statistician update.
Got some stats coming in.
October 14, 2014. Clarence Otis, the CEO of Darden Restaurants, is stepping down because Olive Garden CEO out after attack from hedge. In this case, I can only assume that hedge is an alternative word for the drugs, this is it.
So he found the information due to some drug-related mischief. It sounds like the head of the Olive Garden national restaurant chain is out. He's out.
Clarence Otis is out.
Clarence Otis, he's gone. Don't look for him at your next Olive Garden visit, unless he's just dining in with his family, which could happen. But he will not be in a management position.
This attack from a hedge fund is obviously just a fight between local gangs over the drugs. It's terrible that this could happen, and Clarence Otis was a part of this.
Interesting stats coming in about Clarence Otis. What do you have?
Stats.
Definitely some stats. What do you have to say about those new Clarence Otis related statistics?
I'm just really, really ashamed of Clarence. I've always known him as a good guy, and he always works really hard. He really put Olive Garden on the map. Before Clarence stepped up, the Garden was just another place.
Absolutely.
It was on the tier of Applebee's or
Red Lobster.
Red Lobster.
All that crap.
And now the Garden is touted as one of the best, if not the best, national chain restaurant in the nation and also the world.
Yeah, definitely.
I really respected a lot of Clarence, and this is kind of just a little disappointing.
Yeah, even with this disappointing news, we still really appreciate everything that Clarence has done. We'd like to say a big thanks to Clarence for making memories like this possible with really the whole family. He's a family man, that's for sure.
He was the idea behind the whole family restaurant. Where you're here, your family. It was actually a saying of Clarence's before he came to the Garden.
Yep.
Before Olive Garden's commercial used to be one with the vine, going off the olive
vine kind of theme.
And it was just ridiculous.
It was a failure. It was a failure. Nobody was into that. You can't
eat vines.
Exactly.
They thought that the Garden was selling them vines, and there was some sort of like nursery store for different kinds of trees and shrubberies.
Absolutely, but once they heard family, couldn't keep those families out of Olive Garden.
They don't even care about the food, really. It's just about the connections you can make with your family and the waiters and waitresses every single time. Have you noticed that the waiters and waitresses are just always smiling? They never have a frown.
Always got a big smile on their face. We saw a lot of that in that last commercial for sure. With this, not only the smile but some laughter as well.
That is very true.
Important family value, laughter, right there.
Yeah, and you can tell that this family is just up on the scales of families because of their laughing. It's just to a degree, like even before the joke, just right off the bat, you can hear a subtle laugh.
I imagine that's just laughter just to laugh. There wasn't even a joke said. They just sat down and started laughing. They were having such a good time.
And it makes sense because while they were laughing, the guy was doing the math.
Exactly.
I checked into Clarence Otis's resignation. One of the criticisms from this USA Today Money section article says that analysts also say the sector has been hurt by a lack of innovation and consumers' heightened awareness about nutrition and portion control. Portion control.
Everyone knows the family doesn't care about portions.
Yeah,
you can never have enough family.
Exactly.
If you're trying to take away from family time together, then I don't want to hear it. Is
Absolutely
what I say.
Not. Absolutely not.
I think Clarence is on the right track and not limiting people's portions because you can never have enough of that. Family.
Especially when you got a great deal like the unlimited, never-ending pasta bowl. There's really no portions involved. It's just and the breadsticks and really the portions. They're out of control, and that's the way it should be.
Because families should be out of control. Families are never a safe bet. They're always having a fun time and not caring about the consequences of their actions.
Portion control needs to be motion control, and that's a secret saying that I know that Clarence Otis Jr. had.
I'm sure you're right. If you're talking about crap like portion control, get out of Olive Garden, go to some place like TGI Fridays. When you got the never-ending pasta bowl, portion control is not even in your vocabulary. You go to a place like Ruby Tuesday, some of that crap.
Yeah. And you got yourself a salad. Like you're eating healthy, and it's not like pasta's. What is pasta? Just wheat, which is natural. It's
natural,
not like
exactly.
It's all natural. It's not like you're throwing crap into your body.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really. I'm so angry that the USA Today money section would say such terrible things about our good friend Clarence Otis.
I guess the only thing that I would be concerned about would be the portion control regarding meth.
That is true. I have always said though that a family that does meth together, and this is an old Clarence thing he always used to tell me was family that does meth together, family that does the family together is the family that stays together. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. You're family. You're not going to leave each other until everyone has enough of their meth.
And it's going to be a lot easier to down as much pasta as you want when you don't have any teeth and you got a lot of energy.
That's for sure. Going back to that USA Today article, I know that the founder of USA Today is Al Newharth from the University of South Dakota. He went to a terrible university, first of all, so right off the bat, can't trust the USA Today.
No credibility.
Secondary, they built a whole entire building at the University of South Dakota dedicated to this man. He is an evil man. So the University of South Dakota, never go to that state, never go to that university because it is the worst in the country with the things they say about Clarence Otis. Terrible.
Probably don't even have any Olive Gardens there, and if they do, they're probably the kind of Olive Garden you don't even want to go to.
They're probably just a Ruby Tuesday that's trying to get some more business, so they changed their name to the Olive Garden.
Yeah, it's not even official. There should be some kind of a trademark infringement lawsuit because that's just blatantly ripping off the Olive Garden name, and they won't stand for that.
The Olive Gardens in South Dakota is you probably pay $8.95 for what you think is never-ending possible, and it ends on the first pasta
Because Al Newharth and his goddamn portion control conspiracy, he has limited the ability for people in South Dakota to have unlimited pasta bowl. He has limited the unlimited pasta bowl.
We got some
It's just in from the stats guy.
Stats coming in from the stats guy. Let's check it out.
I just did a cross-analysis of 5 peer-reviewed papers and threw them into my compilation on my computer, and it's showing me that while people are doing portion control, while they're doing the portion control, others are doing the Alfredo.
And that's what they should be doing is the Alfredo.
They're missing out on life's big moments. They're not happy because they're doing the portion control and not the Alfredo.
If you try to, this just in from our stats guy. He's got a new stat on portion control. He says if you're trying to control your portions, you're missing out on a great Alfredo, creamy Alfredo sauce, and that's not something you want to miss. And that's the latest stats that we got. Amazing, really amazing to hear that kind of information.
The effort they put in just sauteing and spreading that sauce is just phenomenal. They make sure that every noodle, every single inch of that pasta is covered in their sauces. That's just a touch you don't see with other big brands like the Garden.
Absolutely. You look at those noodles. Every noodle is sauced. You won't find a dry noodle in there. Any thoughts on that, Eric?
I'm just thinking about how Ruby Tuesdays doesn't put enough sauce in their noodles. They don't have enough noodles to put sauce on.
Exactly.
Ruby Tuesdays, first of all, let's just talk about that name.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday? Who chooses Tuesday to name the restaurant?
Of all the
It's
days.
arguably the worst day of the week.
Absolutely.
Amen. And then Ruby, that's a color that, you know what Al Noir's favorite color was? A vermilion red, which is goddamn close to ruby.
It certainly is.
And rubies are terrible in terms of jewelry. They're one of the worst gemstones out there. Emeralds, sapphires, way better than rubies ever will be.
It's also not even a food. Like, you can eat olives, you can't eat rubies.
I'd rather have an olive engagement ring than a ruby engagement ring.
That's
any
for sure.
day.
Of course.
I mean, of course, it might rot, but I mean, it's still better than
But you got a garden of them. You got a garden of the olives, so that you can exchange that ring real quick. Get a new fresh olive on there.
Just eat it.
You got plenty of soup, salad, and breadsticks. You got plenty of pasta. If you have an engagement ring made of olive.
Yeah, you said it, man. You said it. I mean, when you got those kind of that kind of food and those kind of combinations, I mean, you really can't go wrong.
The stats guy in.
Stats update coming in.
I looked through the depths of the internet right now and found out that in the years 1957, 1962, and 1968, Tuesday was voted the worst day of the week by the U.S. population.
U.S. population, just hear that. They had a nationwide poll. Tuesday is the worst day of the week. In 1957 and 1962.
In 1968.
Also 1968. So you heard it here first, straight from the stats guy. Those are the kind of stats you're not going to get on other shows, on other podcasts. That's why having a dedicated statistical team here on the GardenCast, we can dive into those kind of insights and find out why Ruby Tuesday just sucks. It's just a bad place. You shouldn't go there. And those are stats. You can't even argue with that.
How many registered voters were there?
I'm pretty sure that was on the presidential election. That was just like the
number 2 votes were for just not Ruby.
Yep.
And not Tuesday. I believe were the number 2 and 3.
It was in the national census. Asking what's the worst day of the week.
What recently placed is the worst day of the week?
What about the 2015 poll? What was the worst day of the week?
Well, they took it out of the census for the last 40 years, so it's just...
That's the most updated information.
That's the most updated information we have on this, so we can only look at that as the truth.
Okay, so it's still a fact. Tuesday just sucks, and Ruby Tuesday just sucks, and don't go there.
Hey, Stats Guy, can you just do a quick polling of our Twitter population with the hashtag Tuesday Blues, and just see if that Tuesday is amongst our viewers the worst day of the week. Cause could you get on this real quick?
Okay. So Twitter followers listening to our live stream right now, if you could please tweet using the hashtag Tuesday Blues how much what the worst day of the week is.
And if it's not Tuesday, you better leave our show because we don't want anyone on our show that doesn't like not Tuesdays.
Exactly.
Statistically, you'll just be wrong.
All right. Well, this has been a really great show. I'm really happy to be here, and it's been a lovely time just talking about the garden. One of my favorite places to go. Actually, I might go there after this the show's over.
And when you go there, you're really going to have a new respect for really what goes on in a place like that, and you're going to look at it in a whole new light.
And I think one point to drive home at the end of this podcast is never read USA Today because Al Noirth is a coward and a thief. And Ruby Tuesdays is just a joke of a restaurant.
Absolutely. I mean, if you either read USA Today or you visit Ruby Tuesdays.
Or if you read Ruby Tuesday's menu.
Absolutely.
I think that is... Or if you eat the USA Today.
I think that the Ruby Tuesday menu just is a USA Today, and that's also probably the quality of their food is basically like eating newspaper.
That is very true. Eric, do you have any closing thoughts about this podcast and this commercial in general?
Well, my personal feeling is that I would like to make sure that I avoid any meth at any restaurant I go to. But more importantly, if I'm feeling the blues near the beginning, kind of the middle of the week, I know I'm going to want to go to Olive Garden.
Because they're just
to
going to
eliminate that Tuesday blues day.
Exactly. And remember our Twitter followers to use the hashtag Tuesday Blues, and you'll get a shout out from our social media team and statistician himself, Jonathan Lee.
Yeah, so make sure you get on social media, share this episode, really. Share the link, share some hashtags about it, and really just get the word out about this kind of new information that's getting out there. It's really never been seen before on the internet.
And thank you again for inviting me on this wonderful time.
Yeah, Isaac, it's been really great to have you as a part of the GardenCast family, honestly. And I hope you feel like you're a part of the family. You can come back whenever you'd like. For more breadsticks. So on that note, we might check in with our stats guy one more time. Can we get the final number? We have 42 sauce and pasta combinations, 3 different nights, 7 guests.
Okay.
What's the number?
So 3 nights, 7 guests, 3 meals a day. You can only assume they're going for every single meal. If every guest is paying for each one of those things at $8.95 per meal, that's $563.85.
You hear that? Hear that, GardenCast Nation? $563.85.
For 21 meals.
That's the final total to get all those combinations on all those nights with all those guests. That's a lot of money, but for Olive Garden, it might be worth it.
It's not 21 meals. I lied.
It's
63.
63 meals, even more, even more.
You should let the stats guy handle the numbers.
I try. Oh yeah.
Handle all of them.
These numbers are mine.
All right, thanks, GardenCast Nation. We'll talk to you again next week.